Hey, beautiful souls, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. Today, we're going to just open up the discussion of the paradox of the healer's mission. This is something that has been in my heart and in my soul for a really long time, wanting to express, but it's taken a while to be able to see exactly how this needs to come out and how this can be shared and how it's going to link to other things that I've been feeling called to just open up the discussion on. So please remember that this discussion is just through my own personal lens, right? And it's through the trials and errors of my own Reiki journey and journey as a healer. So again, this is just an angle, so feel free to think for yourself. And I'm hoping that this just opens up a space within you so that you can begin looking at your own path as a healer and how this is moving for you and how you can better empower yourself. If you're new to this channel, welcome. For those that do not know me, my name is Dani. I'm an intuitive Reiki master teacher, and I assist other healers, empaths, sensitives on developing deep self-trust as they build a life that is holistically sustainable for them. So, the paradox of the healer's mission. Before we completely dive into this, and this will probably be expanded on multiple videos here, but before we dive completely into this, I'm going to ask that you just take a minute to yourself to pause and think, what do you think of when you think of a healer? There's no right or wrong here. What do you think of when you think of a healer? So through my lens, my programming, okay, and this may be different than yours. When I think of a healer, my brain kind of splits. In one way, when I think of a healer, I think of someone who is intuitive, someone who has some sort of modality, right? I tend to go to the spiritual side of things. Someone such as a Reiki master teacher, a medium, a breath worker, a meditation worker, a plant medicine worker, you know, someone in that form where we can go and gain assistance, right? Someone who can remove attachments or take you into past lives and things like that. On the other part of me, as a registered nurse, I can't help but think of it as a healer in the form of medicine, right? In traditional modern medicine. So nurses, respiratory therapists, physical therapists, physicians, herbalists, you know, things to that extent. And we will dive into what a healer is in another video. But essentially, what do all of those roles do? And answer that for yourself here. What do all of those roles do? So from at least my lens, through my own programming and trials and errors, all of those roles assist someone else, right? They're helpers. So essentially we could not even call them healers, they're helpers. They're helpers to others, they're helpers to humanity. They are people that come out of their own way and spend their own time and energy to assist another person. Here's the catch with that. So a lot of us, through our programming, have forgotten part of the healer's mission, right? So we focus on the fact that being a healer means that we are here to heal and help another person. We are here to help and heal humanity even, right? We get big weights put on our shoulders, and that can be quite the burden to bear. But what we tend to forget is that the journey of the healer has been kind of misconstrued and a little illusioned, because it's not necessarily the journey of the healer. It is the journey of the wounded healer. And that's where we begin to kind of get into this paradox, right? The paradox of the healer's mission. And it's going to sound super cliche to say, but there's been so much truth in this, at least through my trials and errors, is that due to forgetting that the healer's mission is actually the wounded healer's mission, what we have done is forgotten that this journey of the wounded healer, is actually learning about healing ourselves, right? And this is the cliche part. I know I've said so much, but there's so much truth behind it, is we as healers, in whatever way that shows up in life, cannot assist another being. We cannot help anyone else if we have not yet first helped ourselves. That's the paradox, right? And so we have all these people, right? Your empaths, your sensitives, you're just kind and compassionate people, right? You're people here with these big extreme hearts, wanting to help other people, feeling the pain of humanity, seeing that the way that humanity's going is not working, right? Giving a piece of their soul every time they hear and see that someone has been crushed, that they see someone is navigating such a difficult time, right? All we want to do is help and inspire. That's all we want to do, is help and inspire. But we cannot do that if we are not doing that for ourselves first and foremost. And even when we've done that first, if we do not continue to do so. And so that is the paradox. You have all these people that want to help, and realizing that we cannot help if we do not put ourselves first. Kind of funny, isn't it? Right? We cannot be the healer if we do not heal our own wounds. That is how we learn to heal. That is how we learn how to navigate these things, is by doing it for ourselves first. And it's really interesting. I might touch on this in another way later. You all let me know how far down this rabbit hole you want to go. But it is really interesting, and I just kind of called a question about it. And it may be due to New Age. It may be due to the world that we're in, where we really have been programmed to give, right? If we give, we are a good person, and that turns into self-sacrificing, right? And then we wonder why, as healers, that we're burnt out. We wonder why we're giving so much and don't feel like we're receiving. And I think that's possibly been intentional in society, is that we have purposely taken out that word wounded healer journey and replaced it with the healer's journey, causing this extreme imbalance many moons ago in any culture. So whether or not you want to look at Celtic culture or Wales or paganism or Christianity or Buddhism or Native American spirituality, any of these cultures, right? We had this little subgroup kind of set up. There was a community, and there was a person or peoples, right, that were there as guides, as assistants, as people to listen, as people to assist when someone was ill, when someone was dealing with spiritual issues. So there was always someone to go to, right? But we have forgotten, we put a lot of placement on the fact that there were these people in these communities that were highly sought after from the community members because they were able to assist in specific ways. What we have forgotten is these people had to go through their own initiation, their own healing process. And so there's stories, right? We hear stories about how they were sent out into the woods, and they had to, sent out into the woods with nothing, right? No water, no food, no weapons or whatever. Sent out into the woods on this journey, and they had to learn to survive, or they had to learn to heal what ailed them in a deeper sense. And it was only through that process of going through that and returning that they were even placed in the role to assist the community, right? I'm going to take a second here. It was only through that process when you tap into spaces or terms, and these are all just labels, but such as shamanism, even, there's the shamanic death, there's the shamanic dismemberment, where one literally or metaphorically, okay, has to lose a part of themselves, or has to allow themselves to go through a death, a transformation, right? Letting go part of themselves, letting a piece of themselves die. And through that, they learn how to heal themselves, that wound, right? From that dismemberment, from that death process, that transformation process. And that is how they, again, are able to be placed in these roles. So I'm just here to share this. And if you feel that you are a healer in any way, and we will dive into that topic a little bit more expansively in another video, I want you to really sit with that and remember that the process of this, despite what New Age is saying, despite what you see other healers do, that's a big thing, despite what you see other healers do, remember that the only way we can assist another is by healing ourselves. And if we, as healers, do not start allowing ourselves to remember that the healer journey is the wounded healer journey, that in order to help another, we must first assist ourselves. If we do not allow ourselves to reprogram in this way and to recognize this, we are going to continue to walk towards imbalance and burnout. And then nothing's changed, right? Nothing's changed. There's a couple key wounds that I've personally witnessed within myself that I, as the wounded healer, have had to navigate and am still navigating. And I've also seen the reflections of these wounds in the ones that I have been assisting along my journey, right? And that looks like maybe being right in front of the person I'm assisting, just one step ahead, right? And learning from them, and we're just kind of walking forwards together. But this burnout, this non-holistically sustainable way of living that we are experiencing in our cultures, especially within the United States, and especially within healers themselves, is this tied to this externalizing, right? And these are deep, deep wounds, like I said, but externalizing. And so it becomes more or so about, well, I'm going to show up and help this person. And when I say these things, I say them with compassion. It's part of our journey. So there's no shame or guilt here. And I have walked this path, okay? So like, I have been this person. I've done that. So I am still doing this and learning to heal that. So I just want to plant that there. This isn't about shame or guilt here. This is about learning to walk and step into our power, okay? If we allow ourselves to forget that wounded healer aspect, if we forget that paradox of having to take care of ourselves first, then who we are here to be, turns into full-blown externalizing our love and our self-worth, right? Our love and our worthiness, which actually leads to spiritual bypassing. Sit with that for a second. So that means we can sit, we can hold space, we can show up in whatever modality it is that we do, or whatever career that it is that we do, or whatever gift that it is that we have, right? We can show up in that space all day. But the question is are we really helping the other person if we aren't willing to look at ourselves? Are we in a pattern of externalizing our worthiness. So are we sitting and holding this space? And this is going to get deeper, and this will be another topic video. Are we sitting and holding this space just so we can receive worthiness, right? So someone needs us. So we feel good about ourselves when we go home because we feel like we helped that person. Are we attaching our love and worthiness to being this healer in this space instead of internalizing this journey and finding that worthiness within ourselves, so that when we do assist another person, so that when we do help, right, when we do show up as the healer that we are here to be, we are doing so from a place of complete detachment, with clarity, without manipulation, so that we can do so without falling into the burnout, right? I think we're just going to leave that there. And so it's really hard. And if any of you all feel like you're experiencing this or going through this, or maybe have been a little blindsided, haven't been able to lift past that veil, maybe you realize you are spiritual bypassing, right? We're using this term and identification of self to put ourselves in places of importance, to gain that worthiness that we do not feel like we can give to ourselves. It's okay. And it's part of the mission. Yeah, but at some point, right, in order to truly stand in our power, and in order to truly create balance for ourselves and humanity, and in order to truly be able to assist another, we have to stop the bypassing, right? We have to stop the externalization. We have to find that holistic sustainability. Otherwise, our mission's not complete. And otherwise, we're carrying around a big, big burden that's not our responsibility. Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of leave this here. Let me know what you think, okay? Let me know if you are experiencing this. Let me know how deep into this topic you want to go. And I'm probably just going to go there anyway. But your feedback is really helpful to me. Not necessarily giving worth and all that stuff. I've moved past that at this point. But that has been a thing. But it's important to just be able to know what you feel like you need to hear from the trials and errors, okay? Yeah, I appreciate you being here. If you're walking this path, thank you so much. I know that it's not easy. You are worthy, and you are never alone. I'll catch you next time.